Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the 9th session of our Vaishnava character course. So in the last 8 sessions, we have discussed about the importance of cultivating several qualities like forgiveness, tolerance, gratitude, compassion, humility, and so on. So today we'll continue the discussion and we will discuss on a few more important Vaishnava qualities that help us come closer to Krishna's lotus feet. So last week, if I remember, last week, we also discussed about not taking credit for oneself. So in relation with that, let me also discuss a little bit about satisfaction. I think we didn't touch so much on satisfaction so far. We'll discuss about satisfaction of heart today. Did we discuss about satisfaction? Right?
Prabhu, yes, not Prabhu. As a like dedicate. Sorry, yeah. Paramatma Prabhu, please go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mataji. Yes, we discussed a little bit on that, Prabhu. But maybe there is a lot you want to go ahead, then you can go ahead.
Yeah. So, Prabhupada defines satisfaction as one should not be very eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. Okay. So, tushti means satisfaction, and one should not be eager for more material commodities, right? Whatever one obtains by grace of the Lord and also by one's honest means, one should be satisfied with that. Yadrichayopapannena santushto vartate sukham na santushtastribhirlokair ajitatmopasaditaihi. Yadrichaya upapannena, whatever comes of its own accord, by one's destiny, by one's honest efforts, as a result of one's deeds, so one should be content, one should be happy. Okay, so but if that happiness is not there, even if one attains the 3 worlds, the opulence of all the 3 planetary systems, one will not be satisfied. So that satisfaction of heart naturally satisfies Krishna's heart. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushtya yena kenava sarva indriyopashantya cha tushyatya sujanardanaha. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu, one who has daya, means compassion towards all living beings, and santushtya yena kenava, one who is satisfied with whatever one has or one is, such a person can easily please Lord Janardana. Okay. And as we know, bhakti is performed in an unmotivated and uninterrupted manner. Such bhakti will satisfy the heart. Okay. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaji. So how to be satisfied? So when a devotee gives up selfish conception of thinking this is my property, this is his property, and I am the owner of it. When that sense of proprietorship is given up, then satisfaction is there. As long as we have this doership mentality, which leads to enjoyership mentality, there is no satisfaction. We understand that there are three doers for any activity. From the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the living being desires to do something, and the Supreme Lord sanctions it, and the Prakriti facilitates it. So for the accomplishment of any activity, we have three doers, right? Prakriti, Purusha, and Jiva, all three. So how can we be very eager to take credit for our activities? So we should not think that I am the only doer of my activities. So when the doership mentality is not there, then that does not lead to enjoyership mentality. So this doership mentality and enjoyership mentality are connected. Okay. And whenever there is doership mentality, which leads to enjoyership mentality, there is no satisfaction, right? If I think I am the doer, I keep on hankering for doing more and more and getting more and more. Okay. That's why we are not satisfied many times. So when there is satisfaction at heart, tolerating some small trivial inconveniences becomes natural. Okay, I'm already satisfied with it. So when there are 15 items in your menu and you got 14 items, if you don't get one item, you don't feel so perturbed. Oh, I didn't get that. Because there is satisfaction with 14. In fact, there is satiation with 14. I am unable to do justice to these 14 items. Why will I need one more? That's how a devotee thinks. So a devotee is one who really seeks satisfaction in the glories of the Lord. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahaituki apratihati atma suprasidati. I think we discussed this shloka quite a few times. So the real satisfaction of a devotee is in sincerely tasting and relishing the glories of Krishna. When we sincerely seek pleasure in Shravanam and Kirtanam, our core activities of bhakti, that gives full satisfaction of heart. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. With great happiness, with great satisfaction, devotees constantly discuss about Krishna. Such spiritual discussions about Krishna's glories will satisfy the heart. Ultimately, the satisfaction that a soul is supposed to seek is in the glorification of Krishna. When we are not seeking that, then we attempt to seek glorification of one's own self. So, right? So a conditioned soul becomes very eager to glorify one's own self or hear one's own glories because of lack of satisfaction in Krishna's glories, right? So Krishna's glories, when they are sincerely heard, they completely satisfy the heart. But one who is not taking pleasure in such Harikatha, they want self-katha, okay? So that's why we need to cultivate that higher taste. So when we have taste in higher spiritual subject matters, then we give up taste for lower sense gratificatory subjects, and we will not be dissatisfied when we don't get them, because we have a higher satisfaction, right? The satisfaction is experienced on a higher plane. So when there is satisfaction of heart, real satisfaction of heart in Krishna's glories, we don't hanker for recognition, name, fame, prestige, material comforts, etc., etc. So sada santushta manasah sarvaha shivamaya dishaha sharkara kantakadibhyo yathopanat padaha shivam. So the 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam gives this beautiful example. For a person who has suitable shoes on his feet, there is no danger even if he walks on a road that is filled with thorns and pebbles and small stones. But for a person who does not wear proper shoes, he has to be fearful, right? He has to be careful. Any thorn may prick his feet. So we need proper shoes to walk on a tough path, right? Muddy path. So, but in this material world is also such a tough path filled with thorns and pebbles and stones. So to walk in this material world, we need to wear the shoes of satisfaction, right? So one who is always satisfied in service to the Lord, for such a person, there is no distress. Indeed, he feels happiness everywhere. Okay. So Prabhupada gives this simple example. A small child, while being cared for by his mother, does not know how the needs of the body are eating, sleeping, all this are being fulfilled. The mother takes care. He's simply satisfied to be in the lap of his mother. Similarly, a devotee who is dedicated to the process of devotional service and as a result experiencing the loving affection and warmth of Krishna doesn't look for satisfaction elsewhere. Just like a child who is completely satisfied in mother's lap is not very eager to go in someone else's lap. Even if some other people come and try to pick up the child and take into their lap, the child is not comfortable. He is not very happy. Right? He's satisfied with mother's lap. Okay, even if it is comfortable or not comfortable, even if you keep the child in a very well furnished room, in a very soft sofa, or put on AC, whatever it may be, the child is running back to mother's lap only, right? So there is satisfaction derived there. So bhakti is like that mother's lap, where there is full security, full happiness, full satisfaction. So we need to be looking forward for that satisfaction in Krishna's lap. Okay. Santushto yarhivarteta brahmano yena kenachit ahiyamanaha swadharmat sahyasya khalita kamaduk. When a Brahmana is satisfied with whatever comes on its way and does not fall away from his prescribed duties, those very duties that he's performing, the dharma that he's performing, right, it will fulfill all its wishes. So we need to stick to our original dharma, which is Sanatana Dharma, and that will completely fulfill our needs. But if we keep on making some shortcuts and try to get some enjoyment in a different manner, that will naturally disrupt our satisfaction. Okay. When the heart is not satisfied, then the conditioned soul wanders restlessly from one planet to another planet. Even if he becomes the king of heaven, there is no satisfaction. The king of heaven has access to all kinds of opulences, facilities, and even sense gratification. But we see Indra stealthily going to Gautama Rishi's ashram looking for sense gratification with Ahalya. Right? There is no satisfaction there. Why there are so many illicit connections? Because there is no satisfaction with one life partner. Why there is stealing and why there are so many thieves roaming around? Because there is no satisfaction with hard-earned money. Okay, so we want more money. Why people get into gambling and other things? Because there is no satisfaction in money that is earned by honest means. Why people get into intoxication? Because there is no satisfaction in their material life. Okay, even if they are honestly sticking to whatever they are earning without any illegal means, but still, whatever is available with them, that's not giving them full satisfaction. To forget all the pains and miseries, they get into intoxication sometimes. That could be one of the reasons. They are not deriving satisfaction in their material circles. Therefore, to forget the feelings of dissatisfaction, They want to get intoxicated and forget the pain. Okay, some people are of this category also. But one who is genuinely deriving satisfaction in Krishna's devotional service, such a person is the happiest person. Okay, we bring in that dissatisfaction culture even in bhakti by maintaining some ulterior motives. While practicing bhakti, while hearing Harikatha, while discussing Harikatha, while serving Krishna, still there is some dissatisfaction of heart several times. The reason is we are not genuinely taking pleasure in Harinam. We are not genuinely taking pleasure in Harikatha. Okay, we are looking for something else. Maybe we want more attention. We want more name, fame, prestige through Harikatha. So the very sources of pleasure and satisfaction are being utilized by an immature sadhaka to get some material satisfaction, right? The Krishna Katha is the source of spiritual satisfaction, right? If I use that Krishna Katha as a means to get material satisfaction, what is material satisfaction? Material satisfaction is of multiple flavors. One flavor is to get attention for oneself, to derive name, fame, prestige, money, or whatever external things, gross or subtle sources of satisfaction. If my outlook in doing Harikatha or chanting Harinam or serving Krishna is to get all these material facilities, I am using spiritual path to get material satisfaction. Okay, so worshipping the Lord should give satisfaction. If we genuinely serve the deities of the Lord, that should fill the heart with satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction. But sometimes while worshipping the deities, a devotee may look for some appreciation, glorification from others. And he's looking for satisfaction of a lesser grade, material satisfaction of being recognized by someone. Therefore, he's missing that spiritual satisfaction, right? Our outlook should be towards participation in Krishna service, not seeking recognition for Krishna service. When our focus shifts from participation to recognition, dissatisfaction is guaranteed. Okay. When our focus shifts from recognition to participation, then we get satisfaction. Okay. I hope this makes sense. For example, somebody is doing arti of the deities, right? So that is worship of the deities, which is supposed to be a very spiritually nourishing and satisfying experience. But if he's looking behind, nobody is watching the arti that I'm doing. What's the point of doing? Let someone else do this arti. Okay, I will do arti only when everybody is there next to me. I will do only maha arti, not normal arti, not say Rajbhog arti, where hardly anyone is there. Okay, in the temple. Or I will dress the deities only on festivals, not on normal days. Okay, so there is something subtle which is hiding within. Okay, attention-seeking tendency, the satisfaction of getting attention for oneself, for one's talents or comforts. So when we derive or when we are hankering for that satisfaction, the real satisfaction of bhakti is lost, right? Of course, there are reasons why a devotee requires some recognition. Okay, recognition that a pure devotee requires is for spreading of Harikatha, for spreading of Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada wanted recognition for ISKCON, for his books. The books have to be kept everywhere. Okay, so it's not recognition for oneself. It is recognition for the path of Krishna Bhakti. Let this be more popular. Let this go viral. So with that intention, if someone is engaging in preaching activities, and in that attempt, if one is getting some recognition for oneself, he is transferring all that credit or recognition to Krishna, so that is fine. Intention matters, right? If you are not seeking for recognition at all, then there is no preaching at all. Okay. Prabhupada says, I can sit under a tree and live and do my chanting also. Who will come there? I need a big temple, attention attracting temple. Okay. Let this temple attract the attention of thousands of people, millions of people, so that they can get attracted to Krishna consciousness. So to that degree, yes, we require recognition, but that is recognition for Krishna, not for oneself. Right? When you're standing next to Krishna, there may be some glances falling on you also. While 1,000 people are looking at Krishna, maybe 2-3 glances fall on you also. That's a different thing. Okay. But if we want to direct people's attention towards oneself and not to Krishna, there's a big problem there. Right? We are representing Krishna, and a representative may get some recognition. But if I think I'm not a representative of Krishna, I'm a replacement for Krishna, that's a big problem. Okay. So we should be in representative consciousness, not replacement consciousness. Okay. So the real satisfaction comes from sincere service to the Lord, sincerely seeking pleasure in Krishna's glorification, not self-glorification. Okay. Let the glories of Krishna be spread everywhere. Let me be used as instrument in Krishna's service. So Prabhupada writes that the secret of success, in first chapter, purport, he writes, the secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. So many essays Prabhupada uses. The secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. So what is the sincere blessing? Will the spiritual master give insincere blessings sometimes? Why the sincere blessings are mentioned here? So the sincerity is more applicable to the disciple more than the guru. Okay. Guru is always sincere in giving blessings, but when the disciple is not aligned with the mood of guru, the expectations of guru may still bless, okay, out of compassion. But the blessings that come from guru upon a sincere disciple who is totally aligned with the mood of guru are unparalleled. In fact, the guru need not say that I am blessing you, I bless you with this, I bless you with that. He need not even say that. As long as the disciple is aligning oneself with the mood of guru, blessings are automatically present on the disciple. Right? When there is a disinclination to align oneself with the mood of guru, the disinclination leads to dissatisfaction, and the blessings are not blessings can be very heartfelt, voluntary, spontaneous, and eager when the mood of disciple matches with the mood of guru. But when a disciple is not aligning himself with the mood of guru, one may get blessings out of guru's compassion, but they are not, they don't resonate the devotional mood. Okay, means, let me give you an example that makes things clear. Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Disciple supposed to get blessings of guru, but Ramachandra Puri's mood is totally different from Madhavendra Puri's mood. While Madhavendra Puri is feeling separation from Krishna in his last days, and crying in separation from Krishna, Ramachandra Puri went and instructed his guru, why are you crying? You should meditate on Brahman now. Then Madhavendra Puri is extremely upset with Ramachandra Puri. He said, I am lamenting in separation from Krishna, and this fellow doesn't understand my mood, and he came here to instruct me about Brahman. Get away from here, you sinful person. Just by looking at you, I will lose all my good fortune. Get out of here. So that's the that's what Ramachandra Puri got. Okay. So aligning with the mood of Guru is important. Sometimes disciple may want some permission from Guru. Give me this, give me this, give me this. Okay, go. That's a different thing. But Guru is artificially, Guru is naturally, spontaneously saying, oh, please do this. Yeah, please go ahead. That's different from, okay, do it. Do it. So that's different. In both cases, there is permission given. Okay, quote unquote blessings given. But these are heartfelt, they are forceful. Okay. No, if I don't say this to him, if I don't give this permission, he'll be breakdown. He will break down. So I just allowed him to do it. If that's the mood in which we are getting blessings, if they are not the real ones. Okay, there's more than that. So, satisfaction also is at multiple levels. Satisfaction experienced on a sensual plane, satisfaction of the tongue by eating some palatable food, satisfaction of ears by listening to some nice music, satisfaction of eyes by seeing beautiful objects. But we discussed all these levels of satisfaction at another time. But ultimate satisfaction is satisfaction of the soul. Okay. So not even satisfaction of mind and satisfaction of other things. Satisfaction of soul is the ultimate outlook of a spiritual seeker, a devotee. So imaginary satisfaction can be there in Rajogun, but real satisfaction is there only beyond gunas. And what is beyond gunas? Bhakti. The path of bhakti is beyond the material gunas, and that gives full satisfaction to the heart. So real poverty is not of the belly. When we don't have sufficient food to fill our belly, then we may be considered poverty-stricken. But the real poverty is not lack of food. The real poverty is poverty of heart that lacks satisfaction. When the heart is fully satisfied, then that is real richness. When the heart is experiencing dissatisfaction, that is poverty. And the real satisfaction of heart is when we connect with Krishna, when we sincerely render service to Krishna. So people's hearts are lonely, they're unfulfilled. And because of poverty of the heart, that translates into many types of physical, emotional, and social poverty within this world. Okay. That's the poverty of heart that leads to physical and emotional and social poverty. The person who is truly finding happiness and wants to make others also happy on a spiritual plane, one who has spiritual peace and wants to share that peace with others also, one who is spiritually joyful, susukham kartum avyam, and wants to share that joy with others also, satisfaction with others also. Such a person is really satisfied on the highest plane. So this is the key lesson from Srimad Bhagavatam. A devotee is one who derives satisfaction from devotional service and not some material commodities and name, fame, recognition. And this kind of looking for satisfaction in material name, fame, recognition can come in the life of a struggling sadhaka also. We need to be safeguarding ourselves from all those things. Right? So I'll stop here. I spoke for more than half an hour. If you have any questions, we'll take. Then we'll go to some next topic. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhu. This was really personally very, very instructive for me. Like I have a question that this is not a, like for me personally, it is not a natural quality. But then you said that it can be cultivated by hearing Krishna Katha. So like should we is there any adhikar also to hear like Krishna Katha? Because I feel that I have more interest in hearing those kathas where my anartha nivritti might happen, or I'm feeling that, okay, I'm not eligible to hear Krishna Katha right now. I'm not sure. So can we just directly start hearing Krishna Katha, like Bhagavatam and 10th canto or something? There is no distinction.
Prabhupada writes very clearly the qualification or eligibility to read Bhagavatam is, or the process of reading Bhagavatam is to go canto by canto, right? So first canto is the qualification to read second canto. Second canto is qualification to read third canto. Like that, first 9 cantos, reading at least once is a qualification to read 10th canto. Of course, occasionally we can hear the pastimes of Krishna, not that, oh, I have not completed 7th canto, 10th canto class is going on, let me close my ears. That's not the point, right? So we can definitely hear Kartik comes, Damodar Leela, you can hear, no problem. Although in our personal study, we are stuck up in 5th canto only, okay? But in personal study, systematically going through initial cantos is important to come to 10th canto directly. The idea is that within Srimad Bhagavatam itself, when Sukadeva Goswami came in front of Krishna, in front of Parikshit Maharaj asked a question, 2 questions. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, what are we supposed to do throughout our life? What are we supposed to hear, chant and remember throughout our life? And what are we supposed to chant, hear and remember at the end of life? Okay. So he asked 2 questions, how to live and how to leave. Then Sukadeva Goswami said, we are supposed to hear, chant and remember Krishna. Okay. Simple. In 11 shlokas in the first chapter of 2nd canto, Sukadeva Goswami kind of summarized everything. Just hear Harikatha. Fine. And now Parikshit Maharaj can hear about Krishna. But you know what he said? My dear Lord, Krishna has 2 types of pastimes. One, the pastimes he does with his internal potency, all the spiritual leelas. Second, the pastimes he does with his external potency, the creation leela. So Krishna's incarnations are also broadly classified into 2 categories. One category is the pastimes he does, the incarnations which are in connection with spiritual energy, all the Leelavataras. But Purushavatas and Gunavataras, these 2 categories are in connection with his external energy. I hope you know all this. So that's why Parikshit Maharaj chose to hear about the pastimes of the Lord in which he deals with the external energy first. That means creation, okay, material energy. How does the Lord create this material universe? That's the beginning question asked by Parikshit Maharaj in the 4th chapter of 2nd canto. Okay, he asked 1 question at the end of 1st canto. Answer to that first question is there in the first 3 chapters of 2nd canto, which is basically bhakti, ultimately, then little bit of devata worship and ashtanga yoga. All that is mentioned just to satisfy other categories of people. But the 3 chapters is just 1 chunk, 1 answer to 1 question. But the real question begins in the 4th chapter of 2nd canto, where Parikshit asked, first I want to hear Krishna's pastimes in relationship with his external energy, Srishti Leela, then come to Rasa Leela. Okay. So how does the Lord create this universe? So when you hear the pastimes of creation of this universe, they are very technical. Sometimes they sound dry. Sometimes they are like overhead transmission, over the top. We cannot understand them fully. But at least hearing them once will equip us with the understanding that we are caught up in this material world. We are caught up in this complicated network of material creation because we are not willing to surrender to Krishna. Okay. First, let's realize one's own fallen situation by hearing how complicated this universe is. Oh, I'm caught up here. Oh my God, I need to get out of this. And secondly, we should also recognize how much effort that Krishna takes to maintain even conditioned souls. Even to create a jail also, government has to invest a lot of money, right? Similarly, even to create this material world, the Lord is investing so much of energy, right? So, but if we are well-behaved, if we have love for Krishna, then naturally we can reside in the spiritual world and the Lord will be more happy to accommodate us there instead of giving an accommodation here in the material world. Okay. So all this we can understand better by the initial pastimes of the Lord, the Srishti Leelas. Okay. Then eventually after completing 9 cantos at least once, if we start 10th canto, we can relish it better. Prabhupada also says, when we are directly reading the 10th canto pastimes, Krishna's Damodar Leela, Amrita Bhakshan Leela, and all the sweet pastimes, we may tend to see Krishna as an ordinary child. But if you have the background of Krishna's greatness, Krishna's opulence in the first 9 cantos, then we can appreciate the sweetness of that Krishna. Oh, that Supreme Lord Krishna has appeared as a small cowhead boy in Vrindavan doing all this mischief. We will not misunderstand Krishna. There are some people who directly hear 10th canto pastimes and they consider Krishna as immoral because of dancing with gopis or stealing the garments of gopis, or an ordinary child because of his stealing of butter and speaking lies in front of Mother Yashoda. Okay. Instead of getting into that kind of offensive attitude towards Krishna, by directly hearing his sweet pastimes without knowing his great pastimes in the initial cantos, better equip ourselves with the right understanding of Krishna's greatness in the initial cantos and then come to Krishna's sweetness, then the context is clear. And then our appreciation will be more authentic. Makes sense, Mataji?
Absolutely, Prabhu. Thank you for that detailed answer. It's really very kind of you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next
Yes,
question.
Ram Raghav Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Great.
With regard to satisfaction, Prabhu, my understanding from the class is that, and I want to confirm that with you, is that satisfaction is really, I mean, there is no option. Because if I choose to be dissatisfied, as you said, as you pointed out, that if you choose to be dissatisfied, even the pleasure of 3 worlds would not be enough. But if you choose to be satisfied, then even the smallest thing, morsel of flattened rice can give you all the satisfaction from the world. So it seems that from what you said about satisfaction, that, you know, honestly speaking, dissatisfaction is not even a choice. Satisfaction is the only way. And in that sense, I was just thinking that, is it fair to say that satisfaction is not an event, it's a process? To those who understand the language of software engineering, it's not an event. You would not reach at that level after something, but it is a process that you have to just continuously follow. Is that a fair understanding, Prabhu?
I would say it's both. It's an event and it's a process also. Ideally speaking, satisfaction is a result of sincere practice of bhakti. It's a product of sincere performance of devotional service. You sincerely follow the process, and the product of that process, in your language, product of the process is satisfaction. Okay. But we can even try to cultivate that feeling of satisfaction by giving it little more emphasis in the process. That let's try to recognize, let's try to intellectually understand that by being dissatisfied, I am only getting devastated. I am only being unhappy, right? By not being satisfied with what I have, I am only overstretching myself in my pursuit for more and more material comforts and happiness and recognition, name, fame, etc., etc. So there is an intellectual understanding here. Okay. So by that intellectual understanding, we try to consciously look at the things that we already have and count our blessings that we already received and try to be satisfied with that in the sadhaka level. However, even if we don't have that intellectual conviction and an analysis and then attempt to be satisfied, if we just keep that aside and sincerely follow the practice of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, etc., satisfaction will automatically come as a product. One may not be consciously cultivating satisfaction, but that satisfaction becomes a natural outcome of sincere practice of bhakti. Okay. In fact, all the qualities can come like that. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunaistatra samasate suraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bahi. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. When someone is doing akinchana bhakti, then all the good qualities of great people also will manifest in that person's personality, character. However, there is also an emphasis given to cultivating Vaishnava qualities. If you remember in the very first session, we were discussing this, right? Yeah. So, Prabhupada, Krishna writes in the 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita, in the 13th chapter Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that a devotee is supposed to cultivate all these qualities, right? So, satisfaction can be a automatic product of following the process, and it can also be something that we consciously attempt to cultivate, right? It's not forceful. As you said, we have no choice other than being satisfied. Then it's not satisfaction, right? So it's a forceful thing that is emphasized on us, and we have to put the tick mark. Then only the Google form will go ahead, right? So if you don't check that I'm satisfied, then the next step will not come only, right? It's not like that.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Paramatma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just a quick thought here. Heartfelt satisfaction will come in the service of the Lord. It's a very nice statement, Prabhu. I was extrapolating in other way around that how to identify the real heartfelt satisfaction. For one, I'll give an example. Oh, I did this service. Oh, I did this donation. I did something. And you see, Krishna reciprocated to me. I got a job. I got a marriage. I got something. He's heartfelt here. So now I want to, you to please help us understand the difference now, because the real heartfelt satisfaction versus kind of, which is created by mental speculation or concoction or anything.
Okay. In the example that you gave, I did this service and Krishna reciprocated with me by giving me job or bangla or promotion or whatever, ability to organize marriage or whatever. Yeah, that can be a product. Krishna's reciprocation may come in the form of some material comfort or material facility also, material success also. But whether one gets that material success or not, devotee is satisfied. That's the point we are trying to make. Okay. For instance, the fruit vendor gave so many fruits to Krishna with absolutely no expectation. And she derived the benefit of it in the form of jewels. But if we minimize this whole, the greatness of this pastime by saying that if you give fruits to Krishna, we'll get jewels, then we have completely missed the point of the pastime only. The essence of the pastime is not in getting jewels by giving fruits or getting a bangla by giving poha, in Sudama's example. He gave little poha And Krishna, he got a big palace, Indra's palace, right? Or Brahma's palace. That's not the essence. Many people perceive these pastimes like this only. They perceive bhakti as a means of attaining material prosperity. Very unfortunately, this is the case. But there are other cases like Avanti Brahman. The Lord took away all the property of Avanti Brahman. He took away all the property of Bali Maharaj. Right? How do you reconcile these two pastimes? Okay. Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham means only fruit vendor, and this who is that? Sudama pastimes are given examples. But Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham also means also has Avanti Brahman and Bali as examples, where Krishna has taken away everything. Right? So giving things, giving material prosperity can be an insignificant or significant byproduct of Krishna's bhakti, but definitely the main product is satisfaction of heart. Yai atma suprasidati. That satisfaction of the heart, which is derived by trying to satisfy Krishna's heart, is the real product of bhakti, not a basket full of jewels or a big palace. Okay, so the fruit vendor is not so excited by receiving jewels. Not that a devotee does not value what Krishna has given to him, but the devotee is not excited with something material, something external. A devotee is excited with the fact that Krishna is satisfied, he is happy with what I did. That's what gives happiness to Krishna, happiness to the devotee. Now, fruit vendor gave fruits to Krishna and she got jewels. But her excitement is not because she got jewels. Her excitement was because Krishna became happy. This little boy smiled so happily when I gave him fruits. She ran to her home to get more fruits to give to Krishna so that she can see his smile, not so that she can get more jewels, right? Even if a devotee gets some kind of material pleasure or material success as a result of one's bhakti, devotee is not excited with that. It's a byproduct, that's fine, let it come. I gave, for example, you glorified Krishna nicely. Ram Navami is coming. You did some Ram Katha nicely, and devotees are appreciating you. So a devotee should be genuinely pleased, a devotee is genuinely pleased by glorifying Lord Ramachandra, not hearing glorification of one's own self after doing Ramakatha. Getting right? So as a byproduct of one's sincere glorification of the Lord, you may be appreciated a little bit, right, by some people. But the pleasure of a devotee is in glorifying Lord Ram or glorifying Krishna, not in hearing one's own glorification. Okay? So that should be the outlook. So, material prosperity, material success can come, may come or may not come sometimes as a product of our bhakti. But performance of bhakti should not be dependent on these products, these insignificant byproducts of bhakti. The main product is satisfaction of Krishna's heart. In comparison to that satisfaction, even Krishna does not have anything else to give us. You see, the gopis of Vrindavan did so much service to Krishna. I'm sure I have mentioned this before, if not in this forum, some other forum. So, all the gopis asked Krishna some questions. Let me not say that completely. But one day Krishna said, Naparayeham niravadya samyujam. My dear gopis, even if you give me one full day of Brahma, I won't be able to repay the debt that I owe to all of you. You have done such great service to me that I don't have the sufficient ability to reciprocate with you because I'm totally bankrupt. I don't have any bank balance with me to repay my debt to you. Please be satisfied with your own devotional service. Right? You be satisfied with your bhakti. In comparison to that satisfaction, I don't have anything more to give you. So the highest benediction or the highest attainable goal of any soul is to derive genuine satisfaction in the service of Krishna, in selfless service towards Krishna, and in comparison to that satisfaction, even Krishna does not have anything to give us. You want to get something which even Krishna cannot give, that is satisfaction of selfless service to Krishna, right? So when you get that, Krishna says, I don't have anything more to give you. Even Brahma's position is insignificant in comparison to that. Even becoming the proprietor of all the universes in this planet is not, it cannot be comparable to the satisfaction of selflessness serving Krishna, right? So does it make sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, that's really a wonderful answer. Now, I'll just take one more step, Prabhu. Sorry, because satisfying the heart of Krishna is the real satisfaction. That's what I heard. And that's a wonderful thing. Now, as a sadhaka, I may not be knowing by my service whether he's satisfied or not. But is it right to think that at least I got the opportunity to perform this service, that itself will give him a service, satisfaction? Is that okay? Because I don't know as a sadhaka, how would I know Krishna is pleased or not? I can do the performance of service. I may not get recognition. Whatever, irrespective of that, I am absolutely with you, Prabhu. So should I think, how would I know that Krishna is pleased by my service? I may not be knowing, that and this.
You know what? Again, let's go back to the same shloka. Ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. These two lines can answer hundreds of our questions that we get in our sadhana bhakti. If we sincerely do service to Krishna, whether we get recognition or not, we will feel happy. We will be satisfied. Acknowledgement is a detail. Appreciation is a detail, right? When I do some seva, when you are pleased with that seva, I will be satisfied. Okay. I will be blessed. I may not know that you are satisfied with that seva. And you may not even know that I have done that seva. Right? I did seva in some remote corner, sitting in one corner of GEV. And sitting in Chicago, you somehow received that service. And you are happy with it. You don't know that I have done it. And I don't know that you are happy with it. But I will be happy. I will get blessings. So that is the spiritual Paramatma network, right? So it will connect. So sincerity and selflessness naturally gives satisfaction. And you can see so many simple-hearted devotees, they're always satisfied, they're always blissful. They don't have any issues in life, okay? They may not be very popular, or they may not be celebrities. They may not be having so much fan following. They may not be having eloquence. They may not be great singers or speakers or managers or presidents, or they may not be so accomplished in a material sense. But the greatest accomplishment that they have is the satisfaction of their heart, just by distributing Charanamrita to everyone. They're happy, blissful. Just by doing some little cooking. Okay. Sridhar Kolavecha, is he a celebrity? Is he like Rupa Goswami or Sanatan Goswami or Haridas Thakur or Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Ramanand Rai? He is just a banana leaf seller. How much satisfaction he has. So a sincere devotee satisfaction is never dependent on appreciation or glorification or recognition. Not that we should not seek for it. That's not the point. Yes, we should definitely not seek for it. But the very fact that one is seeking for it shows that he is not fully satisfied. So that recognition is a natural byproduct of that bhakti. Why we glorify Sridhar Kolavecha even after 5 centuries of his selling banana leaf and having some negotiations with Mahaprabhu? We may do some seva and few people may appreciate us. After 10 years also they will appreciate us. After 20 years also they will appreciate us. After 1 century, will they even remember our name or the service that we have done? Why are we still remembering Sridhar Kolavecha's qualities after more than 5 centuries? Okay. Because he derived satisfaction in genuine service to the Lord. Right? And Mahaprabhu is impressed with him. So many simple-hearted devotees like Sudama. Is he an eloquent speaker or kathakar or big manager or temple president? Is he anything? Sudama. Okay, many other devotees in Chaitanya Leela. Why we are glorifying them now? 5 centuries down the line, will we be glorified? Like we will be recognized. So there's some insecurity. Oh, I should do something. Then only after 5 centuries, people will remember me. Right? So there are people who have done so much. They have accomplished so much. They are glorified for all centuries to come. And there are people who are not so accomplished in a material sense, but still they are glorified and remembered for all time to come, because they derived satisfaction in service, in their participation in Krishna's service more than the recognition that they got. So if you simply stick to the process of bhakti, whether we are recognized and acknowledged in this world or not, we are happy. We are extremely happy. I don't know if that makes sense, Prabhu.
No, absolutely, bro. Thank you so much for your.
But does it answer your question? It may make sense, but is it connecting to your question?
No, definitely, Prabhu. Because as I might not be knowing, so many people ask, right, Prabhu, how do I know that Krishna is pleased? I may not be knowing. So
if he's really pleased, we'll be pleased. He'll be satisfied. Of course, we may, then again, next question is, I may be imagining that I'm very happy. Right? But, okay, for all practical purposes, we may take some acknowledgement from some people, right? Oh, is it fine? Is this happy? Like after giving a class to some new audience, you may ask the coordinator, oh, is this relatable to your audience? You know the audience well. First time I'm speaking here. So you can always take some kind of, I give the highest, ideal answer, idealistic, quote unquote. But for all practical purposes, you may take some review. You can ask some devotees, oh, is it okay? Is the service fine? Okay. And you see some few devotees are genuinely satisfied, you may get some acknowledgement. Yes, Krishna may be satisfied. Okay. So because we cannot access Krishna directly, we can access Krishna only through devotees. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Should we go ahead or Mataji?
No, Mataji.
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji,
You can be a little louder, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you also said that aligning the mood with the guru and with the devotees, it's very important. Sometimes it's like I may be thinking something else and not aligning with the mood of the devotees. How this happens, Prabhuji? I mean, I don't have some practical experience, so can you please elaborate a little bit about this?
Aligning with the mood of guru basically means to live life or to think and act according to the instructions given by the guru. Okay. So guru has given us so much knowledge, so much of understanding. So many lectures are there now. Okay, they are recorded also. We cannot say that I don't know what is the mood of my guru. All the entire mood of guru is expressed through the Harikatha done by guru, which may be hundreds and thousands of hours. So that one thing is the instructions of following 4 regulative principles, chanting 16 rounds and doing whatever service is allocated. So that's one. Second is the spirit of doing it. So guru reveals that mood very well in the classes. Like Citranadapi Sunichena. Ultimately, any bona fide Vaishnava guru's expectation from a disciple is disciple develops Vaishnava qualities and loves Krishna genuinely. Someone asked Prabhupada, what pleases you? And Prabhupada is about to answer, and many devotees were expecting. What were they expecting? Maybe Prabhupada will say book distribution, or Prabhupada will say serving the deities nicely, or Prabhupada will say organizing yatras or rath yatras, or whatever. Prabhupada said, if you love Krishna, I'll be happy. Right? So when we genuinely develop love for Krishna, that pleases the heart of Guru. Okay. And how to develop love for Krishna? Whole process is there. Esyam Vaisruyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushi Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, we develop love for Krishna. Right? If you follow the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll end up lovers of Krishna. So I hope this answers the question, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So now we'll discuss a little more about service attitude. So genuine service, sincere devotional service gives satisfaction of heart. Okay. Ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So let's discuss a little bit about the service attitude. Service attitude is the swarupa or the real form of the living entity. Swarupa means real form, real personality of a living being is to serve Krishna. And one who desires his ultimate self-interest, what is that? Swarthagatim. They should cultivate friendship with all those persons who have accepted Krishna as the Lord of their lives. And they should also try to avoid people who are inimical to Krishna and accept the company and friendship of only those who have accepted Krishna as their life. And in their association, we really cultivate service attitude. So bhakti unto Krishna is not just a feeling. It also includes practical action. Right? Bhakti is not just an emotion. It's an action associated with emotion. Okay. So that's why Prabhupada always translates bhakti as devotional service and not just devotion. Most of the times bhakti is seen as devotion only. Maybe literal translation is that. But Prabhupada gets into the spirit of the word bhakti and says bhakti means devotional service. If you love somebody, you have to do something about that person also. I love you, but don't ask me to do anything for you. Right? No activity. I love you. That's all. It doesn't work like that. So bhakti includes service. Okay, mother loves child, but mother does a lot of service to the child. Okay. So now we need to cultivate that service attitude in the company of sincere servants of the Lord. So that service attitude is what gives satisfaction to the heart, because service may keep on changing. One day one may do some service and next year he may take up another service. Okay. According to the time, place, circumstances, our services keep on changing, our place of service, our nature of service, the amount of service, all this will keep on changing. But service attitude is what is constant in all these changing circumstances. So the eagerness to render service to Krishna, the enthusiasm to serve Krishna, Guru and Vaishnavas, the willingness to serve is our responsibility. And the ability to serve and the opportunity to serve and the nature of service, all these are not in our hands many times. Like Dhruva Maharaj wanted to offer prayers to Krishna. Okay. After 6 months of tapasya, Lord Vishnu manifested himself in front of Dhruva, and Dhruva wanted to offer prayers. But being a small child, 5-year-old boy, he did not have the necessary vocabulary or experience or poetry composing abilities to praise the Lord. Therefore, what did he do? He just desired, he only had the willingness. So Lord Vishnu took his conch shell and touched the forehead of Dhruva, and entire Vedic knowledge is revealed to him. And Dhruva started offering prayers. So the attitude to render service to Krishna, whether it is offering a prayer or praising him in some eloquent poetry or doing something, all that attitude to serve the Lord is the property or the propensity of a pure soul, right? But the ability and facility to do that service is provided by Krishna. Okay, the attitude belongs to us, and the ability comes from Krishna. Etam sa asthaya paratmanistha adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibhir Aham tarishyami durantaparam tamo mukundang ghrinisevayaina. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas, and as soon as he accepted sannyas, he started chanting this shloka and wandering here and there and trying to go to Vrindavan. What is this shloka? This shloka is from Avanti Brahman's song called Bhikshu Gita. Etam sa asthaya paratmanishta. Let me be paratmanishta, means let me be fixed up in my dedication to the Lord and serve him. Tamo mukundangri nisheva yaiva. I will cross over this ocean of material existence by serving the Angri of Mukunda, serving the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. So that service to the lotus feet of the Lord is what is the job profile, job description, the default quality, default dharma of every living entity. Just like sugar's dharma is to be sweet, a salt's characteristic is to be salty, and a mirchi's characteristic is to bring tears in our eyes. Okay. Similarly, the soul's characteristic, innate quality is to serve Krishna, is that service attitude towards Krishna. That is called Dasa Abhiman. Abhiman means identity. So instead of having different types of Abhimans, different types of identities, we should embrace this original identity of being a servant of Krishna. Okay. Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyaihi sevon mukhehi jihvado swayameva spuratyada. So we will not be able to understand Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela by our material senses, which are very dull. We will be able to understand Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela only by engaging all our senses in Krishna's service. Okay, that is by beginning with tongue. Sevon mukhehi jihvado swayameva sparatyada. Jihva has a very, very important role to play here. So let's begin our service to Krishna by chanting the holy names of Krishna and by eating Krishna Prasad. Eating is necessary for survival. Okay, for us to live in this body, we have to eat something, isn't it? So that eating is unavoidable for any living being, any human being, daily 2 times or 3 times or 4 times or 10 times, whatever it may be. So everybody eats something. And what goes inside the mouth, if it is sanctified by first offering to Krishna, we are admitting that, my dear Lord, my survival is dependent on you. Eating prasadam, we take it by default. Yes. But eating only prasadam and not anything else is a mandatory qualification for a devotee, because food is required to maintain this body. And before allowing the food to enter the body, if you are offering it to Krishna, you are declaring boldly that, my dear Lord, my dependence, the body's maintenance is totally dependent on you. Okay. So by your grace, I am growing. When your grace enters my mouth, enters my body, then my body is rejuvenated. So we are acknowledging Krishna's superiority over us. We are acknowledging our own subordinate position in front of Krishna by taking prasadam. It's not an ordinary activity. So, sevon mukhehi jihvado means our service begins with the tongue. Okay. So tongue has 2 things, input and output, right? Something goes inside the mouth, something comes outside the mouth, right? Something the tongue is taking, the taste of the food. Second, something the tongue is producing, the sound vibration, right? These 2, if they are connected to Krishna, that's the beginning of our seva. Sevon mukhehi jihvado, not a small statement. So let's begin our seva with tongue. Eating prasadam is not an ordinary activity. It's a declaration that my survival is completely dependent on Krishna, even on a physical plane. Okay. So you may be wealthy, you may have so much money, You may purchase palatable food, order from different kinds of restaurants. Okay, now this restaurants and ordering food from restaurant also has become very common now, right? You call them and they will come with the food. And then Zomato, Pizza Hut, and many other unmentionable food suppliers also. So by eating food, one thinks of oneself as an enjoyer, generally speaking. Enjoying food. But in our devotional circles, it is honoring food. Let's honor Krishna Prasadam, not enjoy. Yes, enjoyment is there as a byproduct of our honoring of Krishna Prasadam, not wasting Krishna Prasadam. Okay, not taking it for granted, not saying, hey, this item is not good, this item is amazing. Okay, but by default, there's a respect offered to food when it is offered to Krishna. And even if the item is not tasty, we'll say, my God, how did Krishna eat it? Sometimes in our bhoga, the cook may be a little inattentive and he may put more salt or more sugar or something like that. When it is not very much up to the mark, we get concerned. Oh, how did Krishna taste it? We should give best for quality food to Krishna, right? So even service to Krishna, sevon mukhehi jihvado, that food also plays very important role in our consciousness. Okay, so that's one thing. Secondly, chanting. When we're constantly chanting Krishna's names, every day saying Krishna, 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 16 rounds, we are boldly declaring that Krishna, you are greater than me. You are superior to me. I am subordinate. So the conditioned soul has this mentality of thinking oneself to be the enjoyer, proprietor, master, controller, creator, self-sufficient, independent, etc., etc. So many things, right? The conditioned soul has this mentality to identify oneself as the doer of the activities. But when we practice chanting the name Krishna, 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 we are admitting that we are subordinates to Krishna. We are boldly declaring that Krishna, you are greater than me. I am not the enjoyer. You are the enjoyer. I am not the doer. You are the doer. I am not the master. You are the master. I am not the proprietor. You are the proprietor. So chanting increases our humility. In a humble state of mind, we chant. Pranadapi sunichena leads to kirtanya sadaharihi is correct. But by chanting also we become more and more humble. The more we chant, the more we can become humble, because we are accepting Krishna's authority over us, Krishna's greatness over ours. Okay. So, sevon mukhehi jihvado swayameva sphoratyada. Then, when we do service like this, beginning with tongue, and of course the hands and legs and everything else also, ears, nose, everything else also can be effectively utilized in Krishna's seva, then swayameva sphoratyada, Krishna will be happy to reveal himself to us. Okay, it all begins with service attitude. See, accepting prasadam is not just an activity. An attitude is associated with that activity. By accepting prasadam, by eating prasadam, we are declaring that Krishna, my survival is dependent on you. That's the attitude that Krishna sees. He's eating only prasadam. Whole life he has eaten only prasadam. But he could not develop a devotional service. Why? Yeah, prasadam has its transformative effect, but there's something more also, right? Prasadam, if it is taken in proper consciousness, then it will have a transformative effect. Okay, if you see deities as prasadam producing machines, okay, convert whatever I want to eat into prasadam so that I can be saved from karma, right? I can be saved from sin. So we cannot see deity as a prasadam manufacturing machine, right? It has to be offered with gratitude, and it has to be accepted with gratitude. And that attitude of gratitude is what transforms our heart. Okay, more than just the activity of accepting prasadam. Same thing is with chanting. Okay, you may be glorifying Krishna, but while singing the glories of Krishna, or by playing harmonium and then singing Harinam, Sankirtan, right? If the attempt is to attract the attention of so many people around, get fan following, all that, then something wrong there. Okay. But if the attempt is to sincerely glorify Krishna, sincerely praise Krishna for our own purification, and that makes all magic, right? That creates all magic. Swayameva sparatyada, Krishna will reveal himself to such a sincere servant. So, service attitude is more important than service, because Krishna is bhavagrahi, not action grahi. A squirrel can just give little bit of, can push little sand particles and some small stones and pebbles for the construction of the bridge. But Hanumanji can get big boulders and mountain peaks for the construction of Ram Setu. Okay. So, Ramachandra is equally pleased with both of them. That's what Ram wants. Okay. So, yat sevaya bhagavataha kutasthasya madhudvishaha ratiraso bhavet tivra padayor vyasanardanaha. Ram is pleased, or Krishna is pleased more with the magnitude, more with the attitude of service rather than the magnitude of service. Okay. And that service is not restricted only to the Lord. We need to be having that service attitude towards devotees also. Let me serve the devotees of Krishna also, not just Krishna. Let me serve devotees of Krishna. And the Lord is more pleased with someone who renders sincere service to Krishna's devotees. And that identity of being a servant of Krishna or Krishna's servant is the source of greatest satisfaction of heart. Krishna dasa abhimanaye ananda sindhu koti brahma sukha nahe tara eka bindu. The abhiman, the identity of being a servant of Krishna, will immerse us in an ocean of ananda, and in comparison to that ananda, even Brahmananda multiplied 1 million times or 10 million times is insignificant. Krishna premera ye eka apurva prabhav guru sama laghu ke karaya dasya bhav. The nature of Krishna prema is very special, that it induces, whether they are seniors of Krishna or juniors of Krishna or equals of Krishna, it induces everyone with the feeling of being a servant of Krishna, dasya bhava. And this dasya bhava, the emotion of being a servant of Krishna, dasa abhiman, is present even in Krishna's incarnations, even in great devatas, even amongst great sages, and definitely all devotees. And even Krishna also aspires to be a servant of Krishna. And that's the purpose of the incarnation of being Mahaprabhu. Krishna became Mahaprabhu, accepting the mood of a servant of Krishna. Although he is Krishna himself, he is saying that, or he is thinking that Srimati Radharani is serving me, and her pleasure is 10 million times more than my pleasure. How is it possible? I also want that pleasure. I also want to have that happiness of being a servant of Krishna. So in the mood of Radharani, the best of all servants of Krishna, Mahaprabhu appeared. Krishna appeared as Mahaprabhu to become a servant of Krishna. Therefore, the position of a servant of Krishna is more satisfactory than the position of being Krishna. Right? Being God is not so exciting than being a servant of God. Okay, being a lover of God. Even Krishna aspires for the position of being a servant of God. If being a servant of Krishna is the aspiration of Krishna himself, who would reject that privilege of being a servant of Krishna? Let us try to accept that privilege. Let us try to see that as privilege. Servant? Me? No, I am master. That makes things very complicated, and that increases the tenure of a person in this material world. You want to reduce the tenure in the material world? Let's imbibe the feelings of being a servant of Krishna. Let's embrace Dasa Abhiman. Okay. So with this, I'll conclude. We have 5-6 minutes. If you have any questions about this Dasa Abhiman and the satisfaction that comes by this Das Abhiman, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll conclude the course here. Yes, there is no satiation in discussing about all these qualities that connect us to Krishna, but somewhere we need to stop the course, right? But the process of applying these wonderful teachings of Gita and Bhagavatam must continue. Okay. Anyways, with this I'll conclude, and I sincerely seek all your blessings for my service and survival in bhakti. And if I have said anything inappropriate or beyond my scope, many devotees who are much elder to me are present here. I'm quite young compared to many devotees here. If I said anything inappropriate or beyond my scope, and or if I sounded little instructive at any time, I'm only sharing instructions. I'm not instructing anyone. So if I sounded like that, please forgive me for that. And only by your blessings I can continue on the path of bhakti. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And also we will have the second, we'll have the exam, essays for the second half of the course. Based on the first half, many devotees have sent some essays. I saw only few of them. I didn't see everything. Okay, our Sakha Gadadhar will respond to the mails. So now we'll send questions for the second half also. As soon as the session is complete, Paramatma Prabhu will send you the questions. We will conduct essays, and we will also distribute certificates to the devotees who have done this course from Vidyapit. Okay, we can never say that although we conduct exams and give certificates, the certificate is not a certificate that we are a lover of Krishna. Certificate that we have done the course only. There is no certificate or degree or diploma that can be given saying that we have become lovers of Krishna. The love that we have for Krishna is measured in terms of how much separation we feel for Krishna. Okay, that you test for yourself. How much are you missing Krishna? Okay, and as far as qualities are concerned, certificate cannot reflect all the qualities. Yes, you may be having all these qualities, but the testimony of how much qualities we have developed among all the discussion, all that we have discussed, gratitude, satisfaction, tolerance, humility, etc. How many of these qualities we have developed? The certificate cannot certify it. He has mastered humility. He has become a master in satisfaction. So this devotee has become expert. He got A grade in tolerance. The certificate or exam cannot justify that. So then what is the test for it? How much devotees are loving us? In our community of devotees, how much are we dear to other devotees? How much are the devotees able to relate with us, connect with us, love us, and appreciate us? Their reviews are the real testimony. Our certificate is not. Okay, the scores are not. Okay, so scores and certificate will kind of give an indication that, okay, this subject matter is at least intellectually understood by the student, but the real certification comes from devotees of Krishna who are regularly dealing with us. Okay, I hope that makes some sense.
No, absolutely, bro. It's a very wonderful definition, I guess, for a certificate. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. But Kishan Patel, Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, Kishan Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. I would like to say that I really enjoyed this course. I was wondering if there's any other courses that I can take after this one.
Any other course? Yeah, I am currently doing Bhakti Vaibhav every Saturday, Sunday, 4 p.m. to almost 6:30 p.m. It is Bhagavatam course. Some are aspiring for Bhakti Vaibhav degree, but many are just coming to hear Harikatha. Okay, you can come 4 to 5:30 p.m. IST every Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and there are other regular courses like every Sunday morning 7:30 We have nectar verses. I just take one shloka and give a short explanation of that shloka. And Ekadashi Japa talk. Sometimes I'm unable to do it because of traveling. So these are something that I'm doing now. Yeah. Because of traveling, I'm unable to take up more courses. Otherwise, till last year, there were multiple courses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Vaidya Prabhu. Vaidya Rahul.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna again. Just wanted to say that this class and the experience has been really great. We did, I mean, as you said, intellectually, theoretically, we have learned these things over and over, but to give dedicated time to this and to get the examples, discuss each of the qualities to such a depth, it was very, very helpful, Prabhu. Thank you so much for all your guidance. And I would also request you that, just as you said in your closing remarks, for us also, Prabhu, please pray that we can deliberately and conscientiously cultivate these qualities. And as you said, we get a certificate of sympathy, and the qualities that are demonstrable, not just intellectually understood, but demonstrated in our community, particularly in Chicago. Because I think that we are at a point where these qualities would be really helpful in taking our temple to the next stage. And not just the Chicago community, but in general also it will be helpful, but particularly our temple community needs those qualities. I'm just talking about myself, that in that sense this has been really very helpful and eye-opener. So thank you for your time, and thank you for all the classes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And thank you so
Very
much.
grateful, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
So, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, I have no words to thank you actually. I know how busy you are, but for our ISKCON congregation, you have taken up your time and blessed us with these wonderful classes. And I'm seeing that how devotees are taking up, and not just taking it up, they are writing the essays, they are sincerely trying to hear and apply it. And definitely we need your prayers and blessings. Second thing is, thank you so much for even accepting our request for coming to Chicago. So I'm sure our congregation will definitely be having you here, and it will be a great thing to learn from you again, Prabhu. And thank you so much for all the wonderful things you have done so far.
Thank you so much for yours. Thank you very much. I will conclude here, seeking your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo.
Paramatma Prabhu, I wanted to thank you as well. Really, really very grateful for your all kind efforts. Because of you, we were able to hear and dive in on this path of cultivating good qualities, Prabhu. Thank you, really.
It's all
Heartfelt
mercy.
thanks, Prabhu.
It's all mercy of Kishore Kishori and all
And
yours.
for the reminders too.
Yeah, because Prabhu today said no willingness. So you carried that willingness. I know you talked long back when we were all there together. So very, very grateful to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
It's all because of you all, Matajis and Prabhujis, I would say.
Looking forward for more such enriching association, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Definitely.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.